Hello everyone, it is Unapologetically Political here. Today I'm going to be going over the New Jersey and Virginia governor elections and my thoughts, my opinions, and what I think might happen. Disclaimer, I'm not a professional, I have no clue how it's going to go. But I do have an idea. Is it the right idea? I have no clue, but I sure hope it's going to go well. I sure hope I'm right. So, later this year, November 4th, 2025, New Jersey and Virginia will be having their governor elections. The current governor of Virginia, Glenn Youngkin, Republican, and I have no clue who the current governor of New Jersey is, but I do know it's a Democrat. Like I said, I'm not a professional. I'm not going to know everyone's names. So, with that said, blatant get the hot take out of the room. I do have a feeling, it's a gut feeling. Guts normally are not backed up by the facts. I could pull up our CP average right now, and the Democrat is currently leading by 9. It isn't exactly a good look for my hot take, but I do have this weird feeling. I don't know what it is. It honestly might just be bias. I don't know. But I have this weird feeling that Citarelli, the Republican candidate, is going to win New Jersey by a tilt Republican margin. Tilt is normally between 1 and 3 points. Now, either it's going to happen that way, or for the Democrat, I could see it happening where it's a likely. Is that likely? No, a lean margin. I think the last New Jersey governor, who was a Democrat, won by 3 points. Actually, you know what? I can pull it up right now. New Jersey 2021 governor election. So, as you can see, ignore the annoying ads, I apologize. As you can see, Murphy, the Democrat candidate, and Citarelli, the Republican candidate, were relatively, the polls all had Citarelli losing by quite a bit. And there was only one that was closer to the real life thing, and that was by Trafalgar, which is a right-leaning pollster, but they surprisingly got the closest to the actual result, which was 2.8. Citarelli beat the odds in a lot of places. It went from, at the by-election day, the polls went from 7.8 for Murphy to 2.8 for Murphy at the end of the day. That is a 5-point swing in the case of Citarelli. Citarelli is extremely popular and underestimated in New Jersey. Now, let me pull up the modern 2025 polling. Cheryl, the Democrat candidate, is leading by 9. Okay, that is not a 5-point swing. A 5-point swing would get her a 4-point victory if the same thing happens. Now, why do I think New Jersey might go Republican? Mainly has to do with voter registration. Sadly, I do not have it preset. I could not find the website. But at the moment, Republicans continue to gain in voter registration. Now, voter registration does not mean everything, but it is a good indicator of the trends. And recently, I think Republicans, last month, made a net gain of 2,000 voters, and Democrats lost about 500 voters. That's a lot. That's a big change. So, what I think is happening in New Jersey is either boomers are moving out, in which boomers right now are the Democrats' base. You look at every Democrat rally, guess what? It's all old people. It's all 60 plus. That was the same thing that happened to John McCain in 2008, and in 2008, John McCain lost by a lot. So that's not exactly a good sign when your when the majority of your base is boomers. But with that said, I think they're overestimating Cheryl. I do. Now, Trump's approval rating at the moment is -5, which at this point in 2017, it was minus like 18. So Trump is significantly more popular now than he was in 2017. That alone is also another indicator that there has been a right-wing shift. Now, is it still good numbers? No, it's not good numbers, but it's better numbers. And better is still something. Now, that's my theory, okay? This is not based on any fact or anything. This is a gut feeling that I have. It's either going to be just barely he's going to win, or he's going to lose by a couple points, just like in 2021. I could see this margin happening again. I could. The 2.8. I could see that happen again. I could see 3. But anywhere from like tilt to lean Democrat, I could see that happening. Now, back to the map. So now that I've covered New Jersey, that I've pretty much covered New Jersey, to be honest. But one more thing I would like to mention is, for some reason, I don't know why, the Democrat candidates in both states have gone radio silent. They have not released any new ads. They have not had any more rallies. I don't know what it is, but they have gone radio silent. And this has made it so Citarelli and Winsome Sears in Virginia have gained a little bit in the polls. If the Democrats don't do anything, they're frankly being dumb, because these are Democrat states. New Jersey, I think, has almost 800,000 or maybe 600,000 registered Democrats in the lead of Republicans. Like, they have a 600,000 vote lead in New Jersey. I think it's like I don't know what it is in Virginia, but it's still a lead. And so, with that said, if you don't get your base out to vote, you lose. It's that simple. I don't know what it is. Alright, now, with that said, let's talk about Virginia. Well, actually, wait, one more thing. I would like to bring up with the whole, they're not running. Like, they aren't, they're radio silent. Excuse me. Excuse me. Democrats have a massive fundraising problem. Funny little cartoon guy. But let's read a little bit of this, shall we? This is Hub Pages. To be honest, I've never heard of this place. And I don't even know if they're a good source. But it was the only one I found that was covering this. Mission Impossible ad. I love ads. I don't. I hate them. But let's read a little bit of this. In the wake of the 2024 election, which saw Donald Trump reclaim the presidency, the Democratic Party finds itself with guys, I'm dyslexic. I'm reading the best I can. In the wake of the 2024 election, I'm going to start over, which saw Donald Trump reclaim the presidency, the Democratic Party finds itself not only politically shaken, but financially paralyzed. That is some pretty heavy language to describe a political party. The Democratic National Committee, or DNC, which once boasted a deep well of donor support and institutional cash flow, is now confronting the reality of nearly depleted funds. At a time when strong party infrastructure and aggressive opposition strategy are critical, The DNC is entertaining the once unthinkable option of borrowing money just to stay operational. That is paralyzing. Borrowing money is never a good idea. It's only a good idea when you know for certain you're going to make the money back and you're able to pay them back. Politics is gambling. It's gambling 100%. If the Dems lose, if they lose the election, they effectively wasted the money. Which means, guess what? You can't pay back that loan. You can't. You can't. Which would mean that the Democratic Party will not only be paralyzed, they might just be dead financially. They might be a debtor party where they just constantly keep adding and adding and adding to their debt. Because the more loans you take out, the more you have to pay back someone. It's that simple. So, let's continue reading. This level of financial desperation is not just a symptom of temporary turbulence, it's an indicator of a deeper systematic problem. Donor enthusiasm has plummeted, fundraising efforts are floundering, and internal confidence is fractured. Without a major course correction, the Democratic Party risks entering the 2026 midterms handicapped, disorganized, and underfunded. I think this is what is happening to the Democrat candidates in Virginia and New Jersey. They aren't posting ads. They aren't posting commercials on TV. They are not doing new billboards. They are not holding rallies. They are doing nothing. And this is 2 months. 2 months before the election. In 3 days, it will be exactly 2 months before the election. This is not the time to be sitting on your hands doing nothing. This is the time when you go out there and you get people to vote. And the Democrats right now aren't doing that. They aren't. This is not how you win an election. So let's continue reading, shall we? Donor fatigue and a fractured base. One of the clearest signs of Democratic decline is the sharp drop in donations, both from small grassroots supporters and high donor contributors. While some donors have simply gone quiet, others have actively withdrawn their support, disillusioned by the party's messaging, direction, and lack thereof. In the past, the Democrats could rely on a strong coalition of labor unions, tech mongols, and social justice activists to fuel campaign efforts. But many of these traditional backers are now reevaluating their priorities, especially after disappointing election results and internal party squabbles. After others are... I read English very well. Others are hesitating to fund a party they see as unclear about its vision, weighed down by outdated tactics and a clumsy digital outreach. This little paragraph right here is without one of the Democrats' biggest weaknesses. They have no clear vision of the future. They have no clear vision. Say what you would about Trump and the Republicans, which, in all fairness, I support. I'm not going to hide my support. But in all fairness, whether you like Trump or hate him, or love Trump or hate him, at least the Republican Party and Trump have a vision of the future. The Democrats don't. They don't have any way to address the issues that the nation is facing. They just don't. I mean, yes, you might not agree with Trump's strategies, but at least he is trying something. right? At least he has an idea, other than just keeping the status quo, which is exactly what the Democrats seem to be doing, is just keeping the status quo. Guess what? If history has taught us anything about presidential or just any elections, a party that runs on keeping the status quo does horrible long term. Short term, they might do good. But long term, if they don't get their vision cleared up and their messaging cleared up, they are going to plummet. Let's continue reading. The problem is compounded by infighting within the ranks. Progressives blame the establishment for not taking bold action on climate, healthcare, and economic justice. Centrists argue the party has drifted too far left for working class voters. This friction erodes unity erodes unity and stymies any coherent fundraising pitch. Potential donors observing chaos are choosing to sit it out. Alright, the rest goes into a leadership problem, which the Democrats do have. They have no clear leader, but that's not really what I want to focus on. What I mainly want to focus on is the fact that they have no money. They have no money. I wish I had it. I wish I had the foresight to pull it up. But at the moment, the Republican Party has about $80 million just from Trump. This isn't the actual party itself. This is just Trump fundraising in the background. About $80 million from the Trump campaign to fund midterm elections. Not to mention the hundreds of millions that are still left over from the 2024 election. Republicans are raising more money. This has never happened before in politics. Democrats have always raised more money. And this has helped them win the House, the Senate, presidency, etc., so forth. Well, it's switched. Now the Republican Party has its head on straight and is actually campaigning properly, which under Romney's daughter-in-law, I think, didn't. It didn't. It never fundraised correctly. It wasted money, and it always clutched defeat from the jaws of victory. The Democrats are now in the position of the old Republican Party. This is not something I expected to see after 2024. After 2024, I expected the Democrats to throw away the far left and to try to win back working class voters. As it says down here, the infighting in their ranks is what's pushing them away. Without working class voters, the Democrat Party has no coalition. The Republican Party has effectively stolen the Democrat coalition. Hispanics are moving towards Republicans in massive droves. About 20% of the black vote is now Republican, which is insane to say. 10 years ago, if I said that, I would have been seen as crazy. But it's true. The younger generation of blacks is turning Republican. This is a fact across the board. Most of Gen Z and Gen Alpha are some of the most conservative voters in the country. Now, enough with that. I think I've made my point clear on why I think they have gone radio silent. Excuse me, I'm tired. I just finished a live stream on my other channel and I'm tired. So, now it's time to talk about Virginia. Sadly, I don't have the polling pulled up at the moment, but actually, you know what? Let me go ahead and do polls, all latest polls. Actually, hold up. Yeah, all latest polls. Trump approval. Here. Wait, 2025. I think I said 2025. Virginia Governor Ensign Sears versus Spanberger. So I think Virginia's going to go D. It's going to go Republican, no matter what. I mean, both candidates, in my opinion, suck. They both have horrible campaigns. Like I said earlier, Spanberger is just radio silent. Radio silent. Sears, early in her campaign, she did not tie herself with Glenn Youngkin, even though she's the lieutenant governor. Glenn Youngkin won the governorship as a Republican in Virginia in 2021. And is relatively popular in the state, like very popular. And Sears distanced herself from him for whatever reason, I don't know. And overall, it was a really dumb move. It was an incredibly dumb move. But, with that said, she has gained a little bit in the polls. Ever since Spanberger has gone radio silent. Look at this. When was this? A couple months ago. Spanberger was at plus 17, plus 12. And then around this time is when she went radio silent. In August. Plus 7, plus 5. The average is currently plus 6.8, which is basically plus 7. That is a drop in polling. Spanberger was gaining. She went from plus 6 and plus 4 to plus 17 and plus 12. But now she's losing again. And it's all because she's radio silent. Now, I do think Spanberger is going to win. I don't think Sears has the appeal or the polling underestimation or whatever to be able to clutch this. I don't. But I do think that it might be D plus 3. It's either going to be D plus 3 or D plus 1.5. That's my prediction. Now, obviously, things will change. I'm going to be doing one of these videos every week covering these elections, making sure, keeping up to date on it. But at the moment, this is the overall issue. Now, not the overall issue, what am I saying? I had a brain fart, sorry. But this is the overall situation. If Spanberger doesn't do anything for the 2025 election, and let's say the end of the, which, actually, now that I think about it, I think Sears and Spanberger both declined to debate. But let's say they did, and Sears somehow managed to win the debate. I genuinely don't think Spanberger would win. But that's if they had a debate and if Sears won. And if Spanberger stayed radio silent. But that didn't happen, so my prediction at the moment is most likely it's going to be a likely Democrat, which is anything like 3 and above. That's my prediction. With New Jersey, I do think that, like I said, I'm going to restate this, it's either going to be tilt Republican or it's going to be likely Dem. I think that is literally the margin at the moment, in my opinion. Again, I'm not a professional. I have no clue what I'm talking about. Now, back to Virginia. Why did I pull this up? Another reason why Sears is gaining in the polls. Okay, another reason is because this was posted at a Spanberger rally. If you guys want, I can read this out for you. Hey Winsome, if trans can't share your bathroom, then blacks can't share my water fountain. Look at the person. It's an old person. It's a boomer. Okay, it's a boomer. Okay, this is Winsome Sears. Okay, this is Winsome Sears. Okay, I'm not going to state the obvious, but that is Winsome Sears. And this is a white boomer liberal. Hey Winsome, if trans can't share your bathroom, then blacks can't share your water fountain. There's a large black population in Virginia. A large black population in Virginia. What the hell is this? What the hell do they think they're doing? This is stupid. This is literally backfired in their face. And guess what? This is what the co-chair of the Democrat Party says. Co-chair of the state Democrats proclaims Black Winsome Sears is why Virginians are so racist. If you can't tell, I'm face palming extremely hard at the moment. I'm trying to wrap my head around this. So, a black woman as lieutenant governor is why Virginians are racist. That is your way of covering this up? That is how you cover this up? I'm sorry. What? That's not how... That is not... That's not... What is it? Crisis control? No. Well, anyways, that's not how you backtrack. That's not how you try to save the situation. You effectively made the situation worse by saying that. You have made your candidate look racist. Because if this is the type of thing that people can expect at your rallies as a Democrat, why would black people vote for you? Why? Okay, let's see. So, okay, this is the Democrat co-chair of the state of Virginia. What happened in Arlington wasn't just about a meeting. It was about the climate Winsome Sears is creating, one where contempt is currency and neighbors are turned against each other. Spanberger is running on something stronger, a Virginia where we solve problems. And look at this. The racist sign was the black woman's fault? I'm sorry, what? Exactly. This person encapsulates perfectly what I am feeling. How is this sign, the black woman's fault? How? How in the world is that her fault? How in the world could she possibly be causing racism just by being there? How? I don't get it. They've effectively dug their grave on this issue, and Winsome Sears is capitalizing on it. Which is surprising, because she sucks. She's a horrible campaigner. But surprisingly, she is campaigning on this. She has made several ads already stating and talking about this, which is brilliant. If you want to, like, another one, you're blaming the victim? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And like this one, blaming the victim seems to always be the dumbest way. This has to be one of the lost outrageous posts I have seen. Alright, that was a typo. This has to be one of the most outrageous posts I have seen in quite some time. It's a black lady's fault some boomer made a sign that was in super poor taste and some say racist. Yeah, again, stupid. So blatantly racist, my mouth was ajar after reading it from shock. Please never delete this. Okay, look at this woman. Now, again, apparently she's from Arizona, dog realtor in Arizona, but look at that profile picture. I don't think she's a conservative. So, again, with that said, I think that there is a pathway for Sears to win, but it's not going to be a large margin. It's not. I honestly think the Democrats are still going to win. But, just for the benefit of the doubt, I think Spanberger might be able to clutch this. Not Spanberger. Sears might be able to clutch this if Spanberger still continues to say nothing and do nothing. Both of these Republican campaigns rely, maybe not as much Citarelli, but definitely Sears, depend on the fact that Democrats are not talking. They are not advertising. They are doing nothing. So, those are my thoughts on the Virginia and New Jersey governor elections. Most of the time, federal polling does not affect governor elections. For example, I live in Florida. I live in the great and amazing state known as Florida. I love it so much. DeSantis ran for president in 2024. His campaign went horribly. He lost. Statewide appeal does not mean national appeal. I think that also applies to presidents. Presidential approval rating, in my opinion, does not always reflect on governor elections. Maybe House, maybe Senate, because those are federal elections, but these are state races. These are for the leaders of those states. So I genuinely don't think that Trump's approval rating is going to matter that much. But who knows? I might be wrong. That's what I'm feeling. So, thank you all for watching. I've had a blast making this. It's honestly fun to finally be able to express my opinions like this on such a large scale. It's awesome. I'm loving it. But with that said, thank you all for watching. Have a great day. I will see you guys in the next video.